We are coming to the end of one of the most extraordinary, life-changing, catalytic eras of our lifetimes, my friend. From September 1st to November 19th of 2024, Pluto will re-enter Capricorn at the very last degree, the critical 29th degree of endings. This is Pluto in Capricorn's last hurrah, and we will not see Pluto back in Capricorn for another 248 years. So yes, this is its last transit of our lifetimes, of our children's lifetimes, of our grandchildren's lifetimes even. And I know some of you who've really been through it are saying, good riddance, Pluto, see you later. Take my number out of your phone contacts, don't contact me again. All humor aside, Pluto at the end of its era in Capricorn marks a soul level graduation. This is the good news. This is what we get to celebrate, the end of karmic soul lessons in this particular area of your life, my friend. Many of you, if you haven't already, are going to experience a release, a resolution of any very challenging, perhaps, situations that you experienced during Pluto and Capricorn. And you may even receive a karmic blessing, a karmic reward for all of your hard work during the last 15 years. So in this video, we are at the last 11 weeks of Pluto in Capricorn, and I love that it's the number 11 as well, a spiritual master number representing self-mastery. In this video, I want to talk with you about what can you expect from this last 11 weeks of Pluto in Capricorn, who will feel this energy most personally, and there's one particular quite positive planetary aspect that's going to be happening throughout the month of September. So I'm excited to share that with you as well. In the second half of this video, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs based on your rising sign, based on the whole sign house system. When I talk about your 12 sign readings, I'm also going to share with you what kind of karmic reward or blessing you might receive, as well as pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs. So before we get into it, if you are brand new to my channel, I want to say hello and welcome. I am so glad that you found us. This is a like-minded community. If you want to feel empowered through astrology, you have found your tribe. You're in the right place. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to my subscribers. I'm so grateful for all of you for supporting the channel. I love that you're here. If you've been watching my videos and enjoying them, please subscribe. You really help support the channel. And happy Sunday to our friends in the chat. I want to let you know that every Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time is generally when my videos premiere, and we all gather in the chat to say hello and support one another, so please join us. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. In my book, I share a number of my Pluto transit experiences. So if you are going through a time of transition, if you feel like you need extra support, if you are in a place where something is leaving your life or you don't know what's next for you, you may really enjoy the book. And it is linked in the description box below. I do astrology consultations. It is my joy to meet you on Zoom to share with you what I see in your chart. So if you are intrigued, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'm going to tell you more about my astrology consultations, and I also have a free gift for you. I'll say more about how to get that gift at the end of the video, but if you would like to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates, the astrology of the week between videos, you can go to my website, sign up for that for free, and you will get that free instant download gift from me right away. Pluto is the planet of permanent changes. When it activates one of the planets or points in your natal astrology chart, and some of you may have had several planets or points activated during the Pluto and Capricorn era, when this happens, there's no going back. We get a shock. We get a moment of truth, or a number of moments of truth that show us the reality that we cannot ignore. We can't unsee what we've seen, and we have to act in accordance with that. And that often means loss or letting go of something that we would never have chosen to let go of. But the point always of Pluto is transformation, is death, and then the rebirth, is rising like the phoenix from the ashes, becoming more of who we came here to be. Going from feeling powerless to feeling powerful, to feeling more comfortable in our own skin than we have ever felt before. Now, Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. It is now September 1st, stationing retrograde at 29 degrees, where it has already been. Pluto was at 29 degrees of Capricorn for much of 2023, as well as January of 2024, before it entered Pluto in Aquarius on January 20th. 29 is the most potent degree. It is where we are wrapping something up. We are ending the cycle. And you are no doubt wondering, will you feel this last pass of Pluto retrograde in Capricorn in your life personally? Those of you who have planets or points in the cardinal signs, most particularly Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra, if you have planets or points at 29 degrees, possibly 28 degrees as well, you may feel a release of a karmic soul lesson, a completion, a culmination, a graduation, or something coming to resolution. Now, this is a general reading. It's going to be different for all of you based on whether you have already had your Pluto learning, so to speak. Hard Pluto transits, which is what the cardinal signs have experienced while Pluto has been in Capricorn. They are the zingers that we get, the shocks, the betrayals, the unconscious fears welling up from the underworld, the very dark emotional things that can really hit us hard. Most of you have already been through that. I want to make this really clear. Most of you have already been through the hard Pluto transit activations of your chart that were there to take you through a transformational process. As hard as it is for our human selves, I know, my friend, I have had 6 hard Pluto transits while Pluto has been in Capricorn, so I am right there with you. But what is more likely to happen during this last 11 weeks of Pluto in Capricorn is that we see how far we've come. Yes, we may still receive a test or two, an opportunity to set boundaries, a remembering of, no, this isn't what I want. No, I'm not saying yes to this. Or perhaps you finally see something that you've been seeing all along, but now it is completely clear. It's completely clear that a situation, a job, a relationship is no longer in alignment with your soul. We often feel Pluto transits 3 degrees applying, as we say. That means 3 degrees before they hit our planet or point, and sometimes up to 3 degrees when Pluto is moving away from the degree of a planet or point. So this means that if you have planets or points between 27 and 29 degrees, you may experience this last 11 weeks of Pluto in Capricorn as an integration time. You may get tested, yes. You may very well be integrating, applying what you have already learned during the previous Pluto and Capricorn transits. And you may also receive a karmic reward or a karmic blessing that comes after the transformation. It is a rebirth of sorts. Because Pluto always regenerates. It doesn't necessarily give us back what we lost the same exact form, although it can, but it can give you a new gift. And I'll give you an example. My daughter, who has her sun in Cancer at 28 degrees, Pluto has been opposing her Cancer sun. She just had a new baby boy, and clearly that is her karmic blessing. Also for me, just after Pluto opposed my Cancer moon, which was quite a painful transit for me, just after that happened, when that was coming to a conclusion, my first grandson was born. And his Capricorn sun is exactly conjunct my descendant, exactly opposite my ascendant. So you get the idea. These things happen all the time. And even if you don't have planets or points in the cardinal signs, if you have other planets or points that have been activated or are being activated currently, are getting aspects to them, in other words, in your natal astrology chart, you could also receive a karmic blessing. In any case, regardless of how this transit is touching or activating your natal astrology chart, we are all going to feel this collectively, and we already are. Because on a collective level, Pluto in Capricorn rules government structures, it rules corporations, it rules authority, it rules hierarchies. We're seeing it play out in politics right now. And of course, we've had unprecedented, crazy changes happen while Pluto's been in Capricorn, beginning with the global financial crisis in 2008, the pandemic. We've experienced government control to the nth degree. Who would have ever thought that we would have global lockdowns, for example? Who would have ever thought years ago that we would have been tracked on our phones, that we would lose a lot of our rights to privacy, for example? Lies and corruption, a lot of things have been exposed with Pluto in Capricorn. There's a reason we call Pluto a wrecking ball. Pluto will not allow toxic or corrupt situations to remain in our lives. This is why I call Pluto the great detoxifier. It will clear out anything that isn't good for our hearts and our souls and anything that is not supporting us. I also find it interesting that we just had a Capricorn full moon on July 21st at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So during that full moon, you could have had something come back into your life. You could have felt like you were tested. You could have had a challenging something happen that reminded you of when Pluto did transit one of the planets or points in your astrology chart over the past 15 years. If you have any situation that even reminds you of what you went through before, watch, observe yourself, notice how far you've come, notice how you are different now, how you're responding differently, because this is one of the gifts of Pluto in Capricorn. And this is such an important time for us to really acknowledge how far we've come and celebrate and know that what we've experienced before, we can put it in our past. It is a chapter that is ending. It is an era that is ending. We can let it go. Now, I've already done 2 other videos, deep dive videos on Pluto and Capricorn, so I don't want to repeat myself in this one, but what I do want to say for those of you who may have a planet or point in the cardinal signs, especially at 29 degrees, and who may be going through something difficult right now, I do want to validate that Pluto and Capricorn transits can bring us to our knees. They often involve feeling betrayed or abandoned or shamed by those people who are closest to us. Almost always we have to set clear boundaries that we have not set before. And at the very least, others do not like our boundaries most of the time, or they simply refuse to honor them. They ignore them. And so you end up having to cut ties to a relationship, which is quite painful if it's somebody that was very close to you, like a family member or a spouse or someone close to you at work even. So it can take time to heal from those kinds of separations from other people, from situations, from jobs, from homes, some of you, from livelihoods, some of you have left a profession. And there's a grief process that comes with that. And of course, we grieve on our own timeline. So I also want to acknowledge that some of you could be finishing out a grief process, or maybe you thought you had already completed that grieving, and then moments of grief come up for you during this last pass of Pluto and Capricorn as well. If someone has left your life and you didn't want them to, you could still be grieving that. If you left someone's life because you just realized you were no longer on the same soul trajectory and that didn't end amicably, maybe you've forgiven that person, but they haven't forgiven you, for example, that could also be quite difficult. And the reason that Pluto and Capricorn transits can be so painful is that Capricorn represents the structures in our lives. These are situations that we have agreed to, that we often have contracts associated with, or unspoken contracts. And these are pillars of our lives: marriages, homes, professions, or your identity within your family, within a relationship, within your career. And these are the things that hold up our human selves. They hold us up. So to have one of those pillars of your life, those structures of your life that are so foundational, crack or break, that does break you open. That does break your heart open. That does involve healing for most of us from a broken heart. And I want to acknowledge that. So this next 11 weeks is an opportunity, if we haven't done it already, to put to rest and in our past, to totally and completely, to the best of our ability, release and heal and resolve anything that was earth-shattering, life-changing in a very difficult way, or heartbreaking for you, my friend. The gift is a freedom, a liberation. Pluto does want to free us. Pluto does want us to rise like the phoenix from the ashes. We do shed a skin with a Pluto transit. There is a death to our old ego, but a new self is then reborn. And if you haven't or you don't in the next few months experience this, personally, Collectively, we will. And I want to just run through briefly some keywords that you can be watching for over the next 2.5 months. Noticing how these may be coming up or coming back around again, because we often feel a bloom of the energy, 29 degrees of a sign. We feel a bloom of that energy often during this very last pass. So keywords: Pluto in Capricorn, government power and control, corporate power, authority figures, the father or the father wound, the wounded masculine, patriarchy, hierarchical systems, work and career, your profession, your reputation, achievements, striving, hard work, climbing the ladder, recognition and reward, accolades for your success, the desire for external validation and getting to the top, ambition. And this often plays out as power struggles, power plays by authorities, bullying by those who are abusing power. And that could include bosses, heads of institutions, CEOs, the person who holds the purse strings, the person who is more dominant, if that's true in a relationship. And hard truths are often revealed. So we can expect to see over the next 2.5 months, 11 weeks, we can expect to see more attempts, at least attempts, at power grabs or consolidation of power on the government or corporate level, as well as exposure of or possibly prosecution of people or organizations misusing power. And of course, we have the presidential election in the US that is happening just 2 weeks before the very last day of Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And we're already seeing unprecedented changes happening, such as the current president taking himself out of the running, such as a major candidate teaming up with another candidate. So we know that on a deep level, major structural changes are happening. And we want to keep in mind that on an individual level, on a personal level for you, my friend, we want to keep in mind that Pluto is karma. So it's karmic soul contracts, it's karmic situations. It is us having decided, I believe, as souls to come into this lifetime and play with others in a way that would grow us. Our most painful lessons, the people that have hurt us the most have also been the people that have catalyzed the deepest change within us, that have made us, in a roundabout way, stronger, more resilient, more true to ourselves, more authentic in who we are. So a few signs that you are in the rebirthing period, because I believe that this last 11 weeks of Pluto and Capricorn are going to bring more and more of us into this phase of feeling like we are on the other side. We are going through a process of rebirth. We are beginning to get more inspiration. Now, will this necessarily happen during the next 11 weeks? That depends on how much we are willing to let go of the past. And because Pluto works on our unconscious self, it takes us into the underworld, we're not often conscious of the fact that on a certain level, we're still holding on to the past, or we're still looking back to what happened before, rather than being fully present in the now or ready to embrace a future path. But signs that you have come through the death process of Pluto and you are now in the rebirthing process include a renewed sense of purpose, getting your mojo back. When you're in the middle of a Pluto transit, you often feel like, am I ever going to be able to do anything again? I feel like I'm dying. That's what Pluto can feel like. Will I ever work again? Will I ever have a relationship again? These kinds of things. Another sign is that you have a willingness to take a risk, to follow your soul's guidance, despite the fact that there's a very uncertain outcome, that you don't know where it's going to lead, that you don't know if you can be successful at it. There's also a vow of self-honoring and self-respect. I will never go back there again. I will never settle again. I will never allow another person to treat me that way again. There's a clarity about what you will never allow to happen again in your life. And that is priceless. That is a priceless gift. And for some of you, that could be, I will never work for another person again. I'm going to be self-employed for the rest of my days. Or your I will never do, you fill in the blank again, could relate to your health or your relationships or your finances or your home. So it's different for everyone depending on where this is happening. This Pluto and Capricorn transit is happening in your chart. and any other places in your chart where you have planets or points that are being activated by Pluto. There's an unshakable integrity that we come away with after a Pluto transit, a new sense of wholeness, and the wisdom that we gain from going through a hard Pluto transit. Regardless of your age, within you is now a wise elder, giving you a wisdom that you can then share with others. Now, before we do the 12 sign readings, I want to mention one really important transit that is happening as soon as Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn on September 1st. On the very same day, Uranus in Taurus is going to also station retrograde at 27 degrees. And Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 27 degrees will make a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. Positive energy flow. Uranus in Taurus representing our security and our stability, our desire for a life upgrade. This is going to support Pluto. And not only this, but we also have Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 29 degrees, making a sextile to both Uranus retrograde and Pluto retrograde. So we have this pyramid, we have a triangle of these three planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. They are all supporting one another, helping us, because they're all retrograde, helping us release a past disempowering soul level imprint, taking us back to past lives. And if you don't believe in past lives, look at your childhood. Whatever it is that you are afraid you cannot do, if there is something in your life that you feel like, I want this, but I don't know if I can have this in my life. I don't know why I haven't been able to attract a partnership, for example. I don't know why I haven't been able to resolve a health issue or start my own business, for example. It's different for everyone, but the idea is, I believe this triangle of these three super powerful powerhouse planets are supporting us for the very first time, because this is the first time that Uranus has been this close to Pluto in Capricorn. And Uranus can bring in new developments, new gifts, new blessings quite quickly. Uranus is an accelerator. Even retrograde, it's more likely to bring epiphanies, new perspectives on our past so that we can wash that away and go forward powerfully, my friend. And to facilitate this releasing of the past, I highly encourage you to do a life review, to fly above your life. This is what I do with my coaching clients. I fly above their life. Even when I'm doing an astrology consultation with you, the same thing. I am seeing your situation from a neutral, detached, higher perspective. Not that I am not compassionately present for you. Of course I am. But I am seeing whatever you're describing to me that has been painful, I am seeing that from a higher perspective. And this is what we can do for ourselves as well. By looking back over our lives, you can write this out, you can speak this out, so you can see what has gone on for you from a new vantage point. And this can be tremendously liberating and freeing. Once you understand the gift that you received from any painful transformation you had, then you can enter the portal of rebirth and claim your spiritual warrior identity. Because if you've been through a hard Pluto transit, my friend, you are now a spiritual warrior. And remember, this is what our souls came here for. Our souls came here to advance through this soul growth. And let us celebrate that we are at the very end of this transit. Having done that soul growth, it is now time to start that next chapter. Okay, my beautiful friend, let's do the 12 sign readings now. And I highly encourage you to listen to your rising sign. This is based on the whole sign house system, the area of life in which Pluto is transiting your natal astrology chart, where Pluto is retrograding back to for this last 11 weeks of Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees. Definitely listen to your sun sign and your moon sign as well for further messages. So we're going to start with Capricorn, because Capricorn, you've almost made it. This has been quite the transit. You will be able to look back on your life and say, you became a spiritual warrior, beautiful Capricorn, during the 15-year transit of 2008 to 2024. You did it. So I hope that you will celebrate. I hope that you will have some sort of party marking your accomplishment. Capricorn, you have had this transit of Pluto in your sign, which has been what we call a conjunction. It can be quite intense. It has happened for you in your first house of identity. The first house affects all the other houses of our lives. So this could have involved for you a change of role, either in your personal life, in your business life, profession, in other words, your career, your work life, or in both of those. And this could have happened for you multiple times. You could have had changes in partnerships or friendships with coworkers, with a significant other, with children, really any area of your life. Could have also had changes in your health. Why? Because the first house is also your vitality. So some of you could have moved through a health crisis. Some of you could have moved through a job crisis. Some of you could have moved through a marriage challenge. Some of you have probably ended significant relationships in your life, either by your choice or the other person's choice. And that is very, very difficult. I really want to acknowledge that. If you didn't watch the first part of this video, please go back and watch that. I get much more into some of the things that could have gone on for you during that time. Boundaries have been super important to you, beautiful Capricorn. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. If you don't know whether this transit is going to affect you, watch the first part of the video. I go into who will be most affected, but all of us may be tested during this time. All of us may have moments of, okay, this is familiar. And I think that we've mostly done it. I think that we've been through the hard part, but if you have another hard situation, it would only be because you probably ignored a difficult challenge the last time that Pluto was at 29 degrees, which was in January and a lot of last year, 2023. If you have set boundaries and those boundaries have not been honored by others, if people have not respected your boundaries, then this transit may put you in a situation where you have to face that and cut ties to anyone who just refuses to be respectful of you, basically. Anyone that is toxic to you, any job situation or family situation, home situation in which there is toxic behavior going on, that may come up during this time as well. You may also get a karmic blessing or a karmic reward. This could show up as a new identity, a new spiritual identity perhaps, but also it could be a new role that you are taking on, whether it's a leadership role, whether it is you meeting someone new. You could be, some of you getting married, you could be getting promoted, you could be starting your own business, you could be changing your wardrobe. You could have, over these past 15 years, at any point just gone through a major makeover physically. You could have lost a lot of weight. Some of you could have gained weight. Some of you could be in a time right now where you are thinking about what you want to make over within yourselves. That's possible as well. If you are not fully in your power in any aspect of your life, Capricorn, this is the time. Anything that feels disempowering, anything that you feel like, I don't have the power to change this. We always have options. We always have choices. Once we accept the way the situation is, then we have options to make a change. And I think Uranus retrograde is going to help us with epiphanies and ideas and solutions and opportunities. Since it's making a positive aspect to Pluto and Capricorn, I think we're going to get new solutions being shown to us. So let us pull a card for you now, beautiful Capricorn. Let me pull a card. Let me see what the cards have to say for this last pass of Pluto and Capricorn for you. Capricorns, your card is Gateway. I love this. This is the portal card, and this is you going through a portal. I love this so much. I love too that we have eclipse season right now during this time. We're going to have our first eclipse on the 17th of September, and then we're going to have one early October. During this Pluto and Capricorn retrograde time, we're going to have portals open to us, and this card is saying You have the chance to go into a new timeline. You can make your life more whimsical like this unicorn. You can step into the delight that your inner child wants to feel, Capricorn. Capricorns, you guys tend to work very hard. You tend to be very stoic. You tend to be very focused on accomplishing, achieving. But maybe your inner child, look how whimsical this card is. Maybe your inner child needs a break. Maybe there's a part of you that is ready to show you a new soul essence. A new soul essence is ready to come through for those of you with strong Capricorn energy to lighten up your life. Go through the gateway. Say yes to the portal. Say yes to the new self that is ready to emerge through you, Capricorn. A new life is waiting for you. If you want to claim your new life, your new chapter, the next timeline, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Oh, Sag, I haven't been dancing enough. Sag, you are going to have Pluto retrograding back to 29 degrees in your second house of earned income. This is related to a job for a lot of you, or just how you earn your income. This is also your self-worth and self-love, self-esteem, and your values. So while Pluto has been in Capricorn, it may have shaken up your material security, or it may have just given you more opportunities to earn more money, to take different jobs, to start your own business. Some of you may have gotten going new streams of income, or you could have been working on any sort of dependencies on income. For example, maybe you worked a job that you have not enjoyed, but you felt dependent on it. You felt like you didn't have other options, and so you stayed with it. And that presented its own challenge for you, its own transformation for you, some of you. Maybe you have transformed through an intimate partnership and the resources that the two of you share, or maybe a partner has helped support you, or a family member has helped support you. The reason I say this is that the second house where Pluto has been transiting is across from the 8th house. So if you have any planets or points in the 8th house that have been opposed by Pluto and Capricorn, you could have felt this in 8th house matters as well. In other words, you could have gone through quite a transformation having to do with power struggles with partners, power struggles with resources that you've shared with others. This could also involve loans. It could involve working through an addiction. Overall, you have been shown which values don't align with you anymore. You have been shown, many of you, which values are from your conditioning and weren't actually your true values. And that alone has transformed you. Now, Sag, this last 29 degrees, I speak in part 1 of this video who was going to feel it most intensely, but you could receive a karmic blessing. We could all receive a karmic blessing during this time with the last pass. And for you, that would most likely have to do with earned income. Getting a promotion, for example, finally feeling the freedom to start your own business, finally feeling like you have a higher level of self-worth, some decision you made, often this is setting boundaries. This is cutting ties to relationships that don't honor us. This is people who often, or situations, work situations, anything that's been toxic to you, you cutting ties to it could have brought you a new sense of power and higher self-esteem. That in itself can be its own karmic blessing, but that also can lead to you attracting more into your life that also feels like a karmic reward, such as a new job, such as somebody offering you another way to make money, or such as you attracting help from another person, an advisor, or a mentor, for example, that is improving the quality of your life, and especially your material security, because second house is material security. It's all of the things that make you feel secure in the world. So let me pull a card for you, Sag, and let's see what the cards have to say. I'm very, very curious how this last pass of Pluto in Capricorn retrograde, how we feel it. But this is the time to release the past. This is the time to say yes to your new chapter. Beautiful Sag. Okay. Sagittarius. I'm feeling the intensity of the energy. Okay, yes, Sag, yes, yes, yes. House of Earned Income, guess what your card is? Abundance, abundance, absolutely. It is time. Your karmic gift could be new money coming in. It is the House of Earned Income, so it's very likely going to be an opportunity that is presented to you or that you see and you go after that then brings you abundance in your life. And of course, abundance can be a lot of different things. It can be an abundance of love. It can be an abundance of time and energy. It can be abundance of delight that your inner child is showing you because you are finally, or maybe in an upgraded way, nurturing that inner self to a degree that you never have before. A beautiful Sag. So let me know in the comments below, what is abundance for you and what are you claiming and accepting during this Pluto in Capricorn transit? Let us know. I'd love to hear. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you are having Pluto retrograding at 29 degrees, back into Capricorn at 29 degrees in your third house. Now, your third house is a house of moving and shaking. It's where we do our business transactions, especially if you are self-employed, if you are a freelancer. It's ruled by Mercury. It's our vehicles, it's our devices, it is our road trips, it is communication and mindset and the stories that we tell about our lives and about ourselves. It's our inner narrative. So you could have felt this Pluto and Capricorn transit quite intensely. You could have had intense transformational experiences with siblings, with aunts, uncles, or cousins, with neighbors, with landlords, people that you have networked with in your daily life. This is the house of your immediate environment and your daily, especially networking, hanging out, working out, grocery shopping, just those interactions that we can have on a very spontaneous level that can actually really ping us sometimes. Scorpio, you have been getting and are getting with this retrograde back into Capricorn with Pluto a sextile. And a sextile is solutions and new opportunities. So you could have a beautiful new opportunity if you haven't already as a consequence of Pluto activating one of your planets or points in your chart. And this could be a new connection showing up. This could be a new opportunity. This could be a new perspective on yourself, a new story you're telling about your life. This could be you letting go of the past, letting go of something that's been quite burdensome or heavy or stressful and starting anew again. So Scorpio, let's pull a card for you. See what the cards have to say. I'm feeling the intensity of Pluto, Scorpio. Okay. Your card is openness. Stay open. Whenever I see this card, it reminds me of Aquarian energy, actually, because of the constellations, because, astrology is ruled by Uranus. And by the way, Uranus is turning retrograde the same day that Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn. They're going to be making a trine to each other. This card is saying you have limitless possibilities. Your possibilities are unlimited. And to the extent that you can tune into the cosmic intelligence and that you can really connect with the stars in your natal chart, for example, and the transits that are happening for you right now, which by the way, I can help you with in an astrology consultation. But to the extent that you can really see yourself as a galactic being, oh my gosh, my words, a galactic being, and really send your spidey senses out to the cosmic intelligence and ask for a new opportunity if you're ready for one. Ask for a new idea, for a new epiphany. Not only will Pluto retrograding in Capricorn help you with that, but so will Uranus retrograde, Scorpio. So this is your assignment should you choose to accept it. And big picture, stay open because we don't know. Anything can happen and it's going to be really beautiful for you, Scorpio. Libra, beautiful Libra. Libra, you are going to be experiencing Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn in your 4th house of home and family. Libra, I am very, very curious. What home and family changes have you already had? I bet you've had a lot. I bet many of you have moved already. I bet many of you have experienced a sort of come to Jesus moment going into the underworld about any fears having to do with a sense of rootedness, wanting a better home situation, wanting a different family situation. I bet a lot of you have cleared contracts, soul contracts with family members. I bet some of you have done ancestral healing. I bet that you have transformed some family dynamics, some of you. You have probably, oh, and again, this is a 15-year transit, so this could have happened for you anytime since 2000 and between 2008 and now. But if you have planets or points between 27 and 29 degrees, especially 29 degrees of your sign or any of the other cardinal signs, you could feel this again. You could feel tested. You could get a karmic blessing. This is very, very deep, very, very personal, the most personal point of your chart. And you've gotten a square, been receiving a square from this energy, which is tension and pressure. But a square can also really motivate us. So I really am curious, and I do believe, I know some Libra friends who've had a lot of changes. A 4th house Pluto transit is not just a house move. It can really bring up for you any dark stuff that you had to deal with as a child. It could have brought up past life kinds of experiences or imprints for you to clear. You could have had people moving out from your home, new people moving in. If you live with roommates, there could have been a change in your roommate situation, but also in your chosen family or the family of your family of origin or the family that you created with your own children. Your karmic blessing, beautiful Libra, that you could still receive in this last 11 weeks or so of Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn would be related to home or family. It could be a new home. It could be a new roommate moving in, a new family member. It could be you feeling a sense of home and rootedness within yourself for the first time. People who are honoring your boundaries, people who are respectful of your needs, people who actually want to know what you need. Quick example, my current landlord, I guess you could call my landlord, he does own this beautiful kind of guest house that I'm living in. He lives just 20 feet away in his own home. He is so respectful of me. He's always asking me, am I making a video? Is this a good time to mow the lawn or not if I'm doing something where I need quiet? And it is so refreshing because when Pluto was opposing my Cancer moon, it was the opposite situation. No matter what I tried to work out with my neighbor who shared a common wall with me, she completely ignored my boundaries. And it shows me how far I've come. So Libra, I think a lot of you too are going to be saying, yeah, I used to be, and I had a really hard situation, but I've progressed past that and my life is so much different and better now. So Libra, let me shuffle for you and then we will pull a card and see what the cards have to say for you. Libra. Ah, Libra, your card is voyage. You've been on a spiritual voyage. You know what I love about this card? There's the mama or papa whale and the baby whale. This is about mother and child, father and child, ancestral healing. So some of you could be going through something with a child right now. I know that's typically 5th house, but it could be just you as the child and you taking care of your own inner child as well. This is a transit during which we learn how to care for that very sweet, sweet being inside of us. And I do have a video for you on inner child healing called Reparenting Yourself. That is linked in the description box below. You've been on a spiritual voyage. Not everything is as it seems, Libra. If you still have some stresses that are left over, like a hangover, a Pluto and Capricorn hangover, if you are still feeling that, if you're still in a grief process, some of you, know that everything that's been going on has been helping you to learn how to take care of that child within you. so that you can create a solid sense of security within yourself. So if you relate to this, beautiful Libra, leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to have Pluto retrograding back into your fifth house of inner child delight. It's your creativity, your free, unbridled creative expression. It is your own children, if you have children, or children that you have spent time with, either through work or maybe your significant other's children, for example. This is also true love and romance and dating. And you have been getting a trine from Pluto, Virgo. You've been getting a trine, and that is an easier kind of empowerment and transformation when we get a trine. Now, not to say that you don't have other planets and points in the cardinal signs in other houses. You may, and you could have had a hard Pluto transit as a result of that. But any planets or points in your energy, Virgo, you have gotten a positive, transformational kind of effect. And that is more of a passionate kind of power, where you are so passionate that the intensity of that is transformational. Your karmic blessing could be related to any fifth house matters. It could be related to children. You could have a child. You could intensify a love. You could take a love relationship to the next level. You could put your creative project out into the world. You could birth your own creative child. You could have new projects coming to the fore that you're super passionate and inspired by. And Pluto always intensifies whatever it touches, whether it's a trine or any other aspect, it intensifies it. And you may come away from this transit being that much more attuned to what your inner child needs and loves, what brings you delight, and bringing that much more pleasure and fun and delight to your own life, Virgo. So let me pull a card for you. I'm shuffling right now for you. And see, and one just turned over, and the card, oh yes, yes. The card is love, 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 love. I love this so much. I love it so much. Oh my goodness, because this is the house of love. This is the house of true love and romance. So what is not to like? I love also the beautiful colors in this card. There's just so much beauty in this card. This is actually my favorite card in this deck. Some of you are going to receive a karmic blessing of a new love relationship. Some of you are going to meet somebody. They're going to be a soulmate. You're going to feel quite passionate, and it's going to change your life. Beautiful Virgo, if you resonate with this, let me know in the comments below. Claim it. If you want to claim the love, whatever love is for you, whether it's your own creative expression, love for a child, love for a partner, love for someone special in your life. A new lover, perhaps. Let me know in the comments below, Virgo. Okay, Leo. Beautiful Leo. Pluto is retrograding back into your sixth house of daily habits, wellness, your health on all levels, and your daily work. So this is a pretty intense place. It can be to have a Pluto transit. Why do I say this? Because Pluto can definitely bring up health issues. It can show us a toxic work situation. It can be where we magnetize a boss that is toxic to us, or a coworker that is then catapults us into a transformational experience, but it's not easy. You could have or be in the process of releasing an addiction during this time, leaving a job, getting a new job, freeing yourself, setting boundaries, definitely setting boundaries, no doubt, Leo. In a work setting, having to do with your health or any daily routine or schedule that you have. You could have realized that you overwork. You could have realized that something needs to change in your work life. Many of you could have changed jobs, maybe more than once during this time, or changed your lifestyle even. Now, your karmic reward could be a new job. It could be a promotion. It could be that you change your work environment. You get a better supervisor, somebody who's more respectful of you, someone who's more honoring of you. You put new health routines into play. Your body is healthier. You have more energy. Some of you may even retire. Some of you may get a new pet, because pets fall into the 6th house as well. So let me shuffle for you now, Leos, and we'll see what the cards have to say for this last pass of Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, Leo. Your card is relaxation. I love this. Okay, so this is a clearing out time. This is a release time. This is a resolution time. And Pluto in your 6th house can be really intense. It can be like too much work. Something in any of these realms of daily habits, health, and work has been intense for you, no doubt. Now it is time to relax. Now it is time for you to tune into the wisdom of the divine feminine. And when I see this full moon, it reminds me of the full moon lunar eclipse that we're going to have in Pisces, September 17th. I will be doing a video for you on that and letting you know where it's happening in your life, but there may be something especially important for you that is happening during that eclipse time, Leo. And regardless, it is time for you to do something that you don't normally do. Give yourself a break. As you relax your energy, then the divine can bring you messages that are no doubt important as you move forward into the next era. Beautiful Leo. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my rising and my moon in Cancer. For those of us who are Cancer risings, Pluto is going to be retrograding back into the 7th house. This is an important house. I know you know this. The 7th house is our committed partnerships. It's our most important relationships. So Cancer, having been through this myself, I know that you have been through it. You have received what's called an opposition from the Capricorn energy to your rising sign. Any planets or points as well that you have in Cancer have gotten an opposition from Capricorn. And in my experience, having had about 10 or 11, I can't remember, 10 or 11 hard Pluto transits over my lifetime, by far, the oppositions have been the hardest for me. So that's what we have endured during this time, Cancer, and that's what we're coming out of. We are coming to the end of it. If you have planets or points at 28 or 29 degrees, you may still be feeling this during this last pass, but I think most of us, as I shared in part 1 of this video, which I hope that you'll go back and watch because I do a deeper dive, but we are going to perhaps be tested on our boundaries. We are going to perhaps be shown similar situations so that we can also see how far we've come and how we're different now. You're different now, Cancer. You're different in your partnerships. You have leave me a comment, let me know. You have most likely had significant changes in your partnerships. You could have lost a best friend. You could have parted ways with a partner, a business partner, or a significant other, including a spouse. You could have had to take distance, or others have taken distance from you within your family. You could have cut ties with family members. You could have had multiple job changes. You could have changed careers. You could have started your own business. You could have moved from employment with another into self-employment. Any of the angles of your chart, which is profession and home and your identity and your partnerships, could have changed because the 7th house is an angle of your chart. So this has been quite an intense transit for most Cancer people. And you could have healed a core wound of abandonment, betrayal, or shame during this time as well. Pluto could have triggered that for you. Pluto could have triggered your deepest, darkest fears. And wherever you have your natal Pluto in your chart as well, Cancer, is where you could have also had situations that pertain to that particular house. So if you know where your natal Pluto is in your natal astrology chart, listen for that house as well. Now, let's talk karmic blessings, Cancer. Let's talk karmic blessings. I already shared in the first part of this video that one of my karmic blessings after my Pluto moon opposition was my first grandbaby. But it's still possible that we could get additional karmic blessings even if we've already gotten one. And I'm certainly intending that for myself. I hope you intend it as well. The most obvious with the 7th house transit would be a new companion. whether it is a committed partner, as in a marriage partner, or somebody that you live with and you don't marry, or a companion. It could be a best friend. It could be a business partner. It could be anyone whose back you have and they have your back, and it significantly changes your life for the positive. Beautiful Cancer. So if you want to claim this in the comments below, please claim it. And let's see what the cards have to say now for Cancers. Ah, beautiful Cancer. We're coming to the end of an era, a really, really challenging era. It is almost over. So, any of the cardinal signs, I strongly encourage you to have a party. I strongly encourage you to get people together. Maybe I've been wanting to do a live video on YouTube. I have to get up my nerve. I'll admit it. I have to get up my nerve because the technology scares me a little bit. But I know once I do, it'll be fine. And maybe we'll even do some sort of a live party for the end of the era of Pluto and Capricorn. That would be really fun. Okay. Cancer. Your card is simplicity. Cancer, you have loved ones in heaven that are celebrating you. That's the first thing I get when I see this floating feather. You have angels and guides who've been helping you and who are celebrating you and really wanting you to, because here's the thing with Cancer energy, we can be focused on the past. Even when we move through something hard, we can still be looking back. It's harder for Cancers, water signs actually, to release what's happened in their past and to be hopeful about the future. If you haven't had something new manifest for you yet that went away, that if a loss has not yet been regenerated, because Pluto regenerates, but if that hasn't been regenerated, Cancers can feel quite sad and hopeless about life and feel like, okay, I guess this is the way my life is going to be. But this is where we need to have a new identity. We need an identity as our spiritual selves. And that's what this floating feather represents. It represents your spiritual identity, what am I trying to say? It is your eternal self, your soul. The fact that your soul has achieved great things during this Pluto in Capricorn transit. Simplicity. If you are feeling at all stressed during this last pass of Pluto in Capricorn, simplify your life. Remember the very basic things that bring you joy and do those things and give thanks every day. If you can remember, Cancer, to be grateful for the simplest things that you can count on in your life. And most importantly, be grateful for you, because you, Cancer, are a blessing to the planet. You nurture others. You are there for others. Cancers have to learn to be there for themselves as well. You are a blessing to the planet, beautiful Cancer. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini. I have my natal sun in Gemini, and Geminis, those of you who are Gemini risings, you are experiencing Pluto retrograding back into your 8th house of transformation. Pluto, having been in your 8th house, is not an easy transit. You have gone through a whole death and rebirth. Most of you are probably very familiar with that. This would have had to, or you could be experiencing it now, intimate partnerships, transformation through shared resources, negotiating boundaries. Very commonly, this means with partners around time, money, and resources. You could have experienced power struggles with people. You could have released an addiction. Something to do, this is a money and a partnership house, so something to do with assets. Investments. You could have had a legal battle during this time with somebody. You could have had a legal battle with a spouse or somebody with whom you had to divide assets. You could have had to sell a house. You could have bought a house. You could want to buy a house. You could be focused now on replenishing assets or investments that took a downturn during Pluto in your 8th house, but also Pluto in the 8th house can bring additional money. You can bring you an inheritance. And that reminds me of how variable a Pluto in the 8th house transit can be. Big picture, it's about releasing dependencies. We hold on tightly to 8th house things. These are the things that are really primal to us. We hold on tightly. And so Pluto shows us where we have a dependency that isn't healthy for us. This is a really empowering transit, but it doesn't mean that you haven't gone through something quite difficult where you had to set boundaries, where maybe your boundaries weren't honored. So you had to cut ties to situations or people, partners especially, to detoxify something in your life, Gemini. Your karmic blessing could be an inheritance. It could be new money coming in some way through another person. We call this the house of money from others. It could be better flow between you and a business partner, better flow between you and a spouse. It could be a transformation that you and your spouse created. And if so, congratulations, that is not an easy thing to do. All long-term partnerships especially have to go through multiple transformations in order for us to stay engaged with each other. So if you accomplish that, that is a huge accomplishment. Beautiful Gemini. Some of you did most likely go through some sort of major relationship breakup during this time. And it could have felt like it really set you back financially. So if so, now you're rebuilding, beautiful gems. Now you are rebuilding. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. And if you're not sure whether you will be personally feeling this transit, go to the first part of this video where I go into that at length. Okay, but we'll all feel it on a collective level. We're already seeing it in the political realm, so it's very dramatic. Okay. Gems. Gemini, your card is Enlightenment. Enlightenment, gems. I love this card. This is also one of my favorite cards in the deck. What I love about this, what a transformational card. I mean, check it out. There's a wave. I know this is a very artful card, so it's a little bit hard to depict what the images are, but what I see is a wave, and I see this beautiful sailboat with a golden sail representing abundance on this wave, riding this wave, and as it goes through what look to be stormy waters, it then receives enlightenment, it receives epiphanies, it receives downloads, it receives new awarenesses about life and about yourself, beautiful Gemini, and that brings abundance. Look at the stars, look at the gold. This is such a gorgeous card. You may receive an epiphany from Pluto turning direct and also Uranus going retrograde at the same time. Uranus and Pluto are playing together along with Neptune retrograde. I speak about that in part 1 of this video. They are forming a triangle of support. So I'm not surprised you got this card, Enlightenment, beautiful Gemini. And some of you may actually already have Pluto has potentially moved on in another kind of chart, like a Placidus chart. Pluto could have moved on to your 9th house, which is the house of spiritual awakening as well. So beautiful gems. You have to look at your own chart to see, but in the whole sign house system, the last degree of Pluto retrograding back would be your 8th house. Don't want to confuse you. Beautiful gems, leave me a comment if you want to claim your enlightenment, your spiritual awakening, your next level of, this is timeline shifting, stepping into the new timeline. Gems, I would love to hear. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to experience Pluto retrograding back into your 9th house. You get a trine, Taurus. I mean, the whole time that Pluto has been in Capricorn, it's been trining your energy, which is super empowering. That is you stepping up. That's you feeling a burst of inspiration, of passion. One of my favorite quotes, Michael Bernard Beckwith, we can either be pushed by pain or pulled by passion. You guys, I feel, have been pulled forward by passion. Now, trines can still show us the toxic places in our lives. I have to say that. Like, they can still tempt us. Tempt is such a good Pluto word because you could still be tempted by something that isn't good for you, even with a trine. And some of you may have experienced that. A lot of you have expanded. This is the house of expansion. In the last 15 years, when Pluto's been in Capricorn, you've expanded. You've changed spiritual belief systems, perhaps. You have had to shift a philosophy. You've chosen to shift a philosophy. You've had awakenings. Some of you could have dealt with legal matters. You could have had to deal with something involving the government, rules and restrictions. You could have been working for a government entity and left that government job. This also has to do with educational programs, degrees, certification programs, metaphysical learning, any kind of higher learning, any kind of advanced or extended learning. You could have published something or be publishing something. This house is where you're expanding through any one of a number of different ways, also through foreign travel, moving to another country, or just doing like extended travel, usually abroad, learning new languages. Overall, Taurus, this has been most likely, I'm really curious, leave me a comment and let me know, most likely this has been quite empowering for you, this transit. Now, of course, if you have planets or points in the cardinal signs, then it's been challenging because you've received, you know, one of the more challenging transits. But Pluto in Capricorn does make a trine to your energy, which is quite beautiful. You could have also healed a relationship with a father or a father figure, or received a valuable mentoring kind of situation, that mentorship that has really blessed your life. And in terms of a karmic blessing that could be coming to you, it could come to you in any of the ways that I just described. It could be an enlightenment, a new phase of spiritual awakening. It could be things like, you know, we can get awakened just through reading things. We can get awakened through listening to YouTube videos. We can get awakened through traveling in foreign lands. So some of you might be, you could do your last hurrah of Pluto in Capricorn by taking a trip somewhere, planning a trip, doing a retreat, doing a yoga retreat, a silent meditation kind of time away, any of those things. You get the idea. It's about expansion. This is what Pluto is doing for you here in the 9th house. And it does involve things like visas and all the requirements, legal requirements that come into play when we do go to a different country. So that could have been up for you or be up for you now as well. Taurus, let's see what the cards have for you. Taurus. Your card is new beginnings, Taurus, new beginnings. Some of you have come through a dark time, but now you're in this place of creativity, all the orange. That is, the soul lives in the hips. That is your being inspired, that you've walked through the darkness and now you're walking into the light. This is just, it's a sunrise. What is coming out in your life right now, Taurus? It likely has to do with one of these 9th house areas. It is going to expand you. This imagery of this white light here is you. That's you, Taurus. That is your soul expanding. Your soul is expanding and a new soul essence of you is emerging, beautiful Taurus. So if this resonates, let me know. I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you are experiencing, you're one of the ones who are getting, have been in the last 15 years or are now, depending on the degrees of your planets and points in the cardinal signs. But this, where you felt this most intensely, most likely has been in your 10th house of career. You have gotten a square from the Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn energy to your energy, and that is motivating. You could have actually had quite an expansion during this time. Squares are not necessarily bad. They do light the fire underneath us, but Aries, you are good at acting on fire, pushing you forward. So this transit was not necessarily super hard, although I bet that a lot of you have reinvented yourself in career in some way, shape, or form. You've had multiple careers possibly during this time. Some of you have changed your vocation, you've changed passions, you've left jobs. Some of you may have retired or are retiring, or you've gone into semi-retirement. How you spend your time has probably changed. Your purpose has likely changed. And some of you, with this very last pass of Pluto in Capricorn, you could be approaching a career milestone. Some of you could have moved your house, you could have built a home, you could have moved houses more than once. Your identity has likely shifted because, and this is true for all the cardinal signs, When you have Pluto and Capricorn transit on one of the angles of your chart, it can affect any of the main areas of your life, your home, your partnership, your career, work life, and also your own identity, your own sense of self, your status in the world. So you could have changed a role. You could have left a partnership, which would have changed your status. You could have changed a relationship with a coworker or with a business partner, which also could have changed your status. You get the idea. The blessing that could be coming to you is likely to be career related, starting a new career, leaving a career, a new level of achievement in career, or you are focused now on legacy. You're focused now on giving back, or you're focused on just you could be in that sort of existential angst kind of time. Aries, where you're trying to figure out what's next for me. What do I want next? Where am I going next? Where am I being called by my soul? You could be asking, where am I being called? And for that, you might want to check out my book, which is about answering the call of your soul. The link is in the description box below. Let's pull a card for you, beautiful Aries. Aries, your card is potential. Aries, your potential is unlimited. Look at all this power in this card. This is Mount Rainier in the Pacific Northwest, where I am right now. This is Mount Rainier erupting. You may be erupting right now with inspiration, Aries, or you could have anger coming up. If you have a planet or point in the cardinal signs at 29 degrees, you could be experiencing a peak of this Pluto and Capricorn transit. And I didn't say this earlier in the video, but anger can be one of the side effects of a Pluto transit. We can have a lot that we need to release that's been building up. And Aries, learning to release anger is often part of an Aries path. I have Mars in Aries. I know about this. But we don't always know that we have any anger. We can suppress it, and we don't always know that there's something that we need to let go of. The big picture message of this card is that you have such incredible, passionate potential, Aries, and it's time to tap into that, say yes to that. And if you're wondering, if you're one of the ones who've been knocked down by a Pluto transit and you feel like, when am I going to get my mojo back? Am I ever going to be inspired again? Yes, this card is validating. Absolutely, you are. Check out the eruption of the lava here. It speaks for itself, Aries. If you resonate with this, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, guess what? Pluto is retrograding back into your 11th house. And the 11th house is the World card in the tarot. That is your hopes, wishes, and dreams. That is your friendships, your alliances, causes, social media platforms if you have them. That is where you connect with others on an online way, but it's really the house of support where we get support, but also long-term financial gain. So with Pluto here, you most likely have had quite a clear out of friendships. Let me know if you resonate with this. You could have had at least one important friend leave your life, or maybe you were involved in an organization that you spent a lot of time, you really contributed a lot to, and you left that. Perhaps maybe you found out that there was something toxic in a friendship or in a group or organization you were a part of, and you had to say goodbye to it. It could have been any kind of fellowship, church, anything, meetup group. It could be anything that you were a part of that you walked away from. This is the time now, at the very last pass, one of the times that we can have a regeneration of what we lost is regenerated. That is the beautiful thing about Pluto and Capricorn. It regenerates, but we have to let go of the past before it can regenerate. And I talk about that in the first part of this video. Pisces, you've actually gotten really beautiful energy from Pluto. You've gotten what we call a sextile, and that's very supportive. So if you lost a friendship, or if you lost an alliance, or if you had a big shift in social media, if you're someone who puts your work out into the world, you have an audience and you've had to change something like that, you may have had a quick replacement of that, actually. Like Pluto may have regenerated something for you quite quickly because of the sextile, because that's a very supportive aspect. Your karmic blessing that you could receive during the next 11 weeks could be a long-term return on an investment, a financial gain. It could be a new friend, could be a new companion, it could be a new cause or passion, or additional success coming from some sort of social media platform, or a dream coming true. This is the house of fulfillment after all, Pisces. A dream could be coming true. So let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. And Neptune in your sign, retrograde at 29 degrees, is supporting Pluto and supporting, being extra supported now by Uranus. Uranus now at 27 degrees. So now we have this beautiful triangle of planets that are all being supportive of us, clearing the past and coming into a whole new chapter of our lives, which I absolutely love. So Pisces, what do the cards have to say for you? Your card, Pisces, is stillness. The beauty in this card, Pisces. The first message that comes to me, besides stillness and being still, and that's quite obvious, is your swan-like nature. Do you resonate at all with the story of the ugly duckling? I certainly resonate with that story of, you could have been one of the ones who grew up in a family where people didn't understand you, where you were quote unquote the black sheep, where you were all along a swan, but nobody recognized you. Nobody recognized, truly saw you for who you were, because they couldn't. They didn't know what a swan was. But you are the swan. You are pristine. Look at all the purple in this card. This is the crown chakra. This is elevating your story about yourself. This is awakening to the truth of who you are, beautiful Pisces. In stillness, and look at the green, the healing green coming down. This reminds me of the aurora borealis, this purple and green too. There is some beautiful epiphany or awakening that is going to come to some of you, that is going to show you a truth about yourself, that's going to have you seeing with brand new eyes, beautiful Pisces. I love this so much. If you want to claim that new view of yourself, however you would phrase that, beautiful Pisces, let me know. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. Know that your soul is pure. Whether or not that has been reflected back to you, know that your soul is pure, beautiful Pisces. Only good things are coming for you. Aquarius, Aquarius, beautiful Aquarius, you are having Pluto retrograding back into your house of the mystic, the 12th house. That is a house of rest, retreat, replenishment, the house where we get those divine epiphanies that change our life. It's a house of deep, deep healing work. And I bet, let me know in the comments below, I bet a lot of you have done quite a bit of shadow work during the past 15 years of Pluto in Capricorn, reprogramming your subconscious mind, processing fears that have come up. In the 12th house Pluto transit, Aquarius is not for the faint of heart. That is a tough Pluto transit, I would have to say. I've never had a 12th house Pluto transit, but I can imagine that that would be quite tough. Why? Because already Pluto brings up the dark stuff, but then our 12th house is where we can have all of that suppressed past life, imprinting kinds of things. That is not easy, but you have done it, Aquarius. It's time to celebrate. You have done it. And during the last few weeks of Pluto coming back into Capricorn, you may receive a karmic blessing of something really cool out of body experience, like out of like astral travel, for example, or an enlightened awakening experience. That could happen through meditation. That could happen really in any situation. Guided visualizations, meditations, I have several of those on my YouTube channel, can be really good for a 12th house Pluto transit. I bet your dreams have been quite intense. That could sort of come back to you if you haven't been having those for a bit. You have probably moved through so many crazy making situations in your life, I bet. People who have shown up and have triggered you. But if you've done that inner work, you've done that shadow work, you have cut the ties, you've set the boundaries, you have said goodbye to people who haven't been honoring of you, Aquarius, then you could receive a gorgeous karmic blessing of expansion, awakening, healing from the inside out, or healing a physical ailment even. I bet that your inner world is so deep and rich now. I bet that you've really bonded with your inner soul self, which would be quite beautiful. That would be a karmic blessing in and of itself. Let me pull a card for you now, Aquarius. Your card is blessings. Yes, 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 yes. Nature. This gorgeous yellow bird, all of the pink flowers. This is spring coming out on your life. This is spring coming out on your life, and there's a waterfall here, and all of the darkness is being washed away, or has been washed away. There's so much green in this card. There's so much. This is a rebirth card. This is a rebirth card. Aquarius, if you experienced a rebirth from this transit, will you let us know in the comments below? You will inspire all of us. If you are ready for a rebirth, if you're ready to claim your blessings, here you go. Let us know. Claim your blessings. You deserve the very best, beautiful Aquarius. My beautiful friend, thank you for being here with us today for this momentous video on the last hurrah of Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn. 11 more weeks and we are done. We are putting this chapter to bed. It is time to claim our spiritual warrior identity. It's time to claim our new life. It is time to say yes to all of the blessings, the karmic blessings that can come to us at the very end of a Pluto transit. If you haven't watched part 1 of the video, go back and watch that. If you've just watched your 12 sign readings, because there's a lot of juicy information there on how you can work with these energies. Thank you for your likes of this video. Thank you for your comments, your shares, for subscribing to my channel. When you subscribe, you send a message to the algorithm that then puts my videos out to more people who love astrology. It's a win-win for everyone, and you really help support my work. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. If you would like to work with me, I offer one-on-one astrology consultations. We can do a natal chart reading, a heart's desire reading, a life purpose reading, or any number of other options on my astrology page. The link is in the description box below. We will go through all of the transits that are happening for you right now. I will go over the eclipses for you. We're about to move through 2 eclipse portals. This is quite a dynamic time of change and new beginnings, endings and new beginnings. I also offer clarity coaching. So if you need support on something, if you would like to get clarity, go to my website, check out my coaching page as well. It's easy to book directly on my website, and I look forward to meeting you on Zoom. I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing guided meditation. It will connect you to your spiritual guidance, your unconditionally loving soul, higher self, and your beautiful heart. So to get that free gift, just go to my website, sign up for my free inspirational astrology updates, and you'll get that instant download right away. My beautiful friend, I can't wait to share more with you in upcoming videos about the eclipses that we will soon be having. So be sure and subscribe, and until my next video, I am sending you all my love.